This episode of the Causeway Street Podcast is powered by ExpressVPN. You can stream every NBA game live for a fraction of the normal cost. Visit expressvpn.com/street to learn more.
What's up, y'all? This is Kenny Anderson. Y'all listen to the Causeway Street Podcast.
All right, another episode here of the Causeway Street Podcast. Joseph Pavone's here. Joel Pavone, Sean Dutra.
What up?
Gentlemen.
And Jordan's in the house.
Oh,
Don't forget about Jordan.
We got a special guest here. I don't know if we're going to put him on the spot. Jordan's in the building. How you doing, Jordan? What's going on? Say something to the people. All right. He's being shy right now. He's being shy. You know what? He'll chime in later, though.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he's going to chime in later.
I know he will.
Yeah, he will.
He is Sean's son, you know.
You would know better than the both of us. So yeah, I guess so. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But
what
do you got?
Here's Sean's offspring.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, you can't keep him quiet for long.
Yeah, we're all waiting to see how that unfolds. But anyways.
Yo, you as well as me.
Anyways, the Celtics, on the other hand, back-to-back losses against the Pacers and the 76ers. Of course, I want to dive deep into what happened in Boston against the Philadelphia 76ers. A lot to get into, whether we're talking about late-game execution, whether we're talking about what the Celtics big men had to say, or what they did against the Philadelphia 76ers. We'll talk about all of that. And, guys, we got 4 days off before the Celtics team comes back.
Oh, a little vacation.
So that's good for them, and it's also good for us.
It's great for us.
We can marinate on these topics and break them all down. That's what we got. And, of course, say hi.
Okay, we'll go.
And, of course, we'll take our trip around the NBA with Joel's in case you missed it to wrap this thing up. But we have so much to talk about that I don't want to waste much time, fellas. All right, so the Celtics dropped one against the Philadelphia 76ers. This big matchup that we couldn't wait to see Al Horford make his debut, or at least his return back to TD Garden as a member of the Philadelphia 76ers. But we didn't get to see that. We also didn't get to see.
At least he showed up.
He did show up. That's true. At least he did show up.
Yeah.
At least he showed up and then make an Instagram post after.
And you know what?
Signed autographs,
it was like
some babies.
Right.
It was like I'm actually injured, so like I would play, but I'm actually injured.
Legit injured.
And then also, though, I feel like when people talk about this game, it's easy to forget that Marcus Smart wasn't in the picture.
Yeah, that's a big.
I think he would have made a big difference.
A big difference.
Thursday night against
a huge
Sixers.
difference.
What is he, 5?
Right.
Eye infection, bro? Wash your hands, especially during flu season.
No, you think he wiped his own butt and got pink eye? No, I'm sure he was in the booty of somebody, man.
That makes you feel better then.
Yeah, he's an NBA player, man. He can do
All
what he
right.
wants.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just looking at it as him not being in the picture. But I guess that's one way he could have.
Why does an NBA player get pink eye?
How do we know he has pink eye, though? It's an eye infection.
Isn't that what an eye infection is?
I never heard of. What does he got? Conjunctivitis?
That's one version of an eye infection. So we don't know for sure.
Did he wake up one morning and he couldn't open his eyes?
We don't know for sure. But I do know this, though.
Eyelids stuck together.
After watching the first half, the Celtics, of course, had a chance to win this game. But can we all agree that they didn't deserve to win this game?
Yeah.
Can we say that at least?
No,
I mean, they could have stolen.
See, I don't know about that. I think that that's the type of game that they've been winning all year.
Well, isn't that bad? That it comes down to, especially late in games, that even when they have a lead, like it's no lead is safe.
So the idea that the Celtics shouldn't have won the game, like they've been playing like this all year, bro. Like against the Kings, they could have won that game. You're going to say they shouldn't have won that game?
No.
They did win against the Kings, and then they shouldn't have won that game either?
All 6 of their previous losses before the Philly game, they either trailed or they led by a small margin when things like turned around. But my point is, it always comes down to one or two things down the stretch that didn't properly execute.
So what do you think went wrong against the Sixers?
Against the Sixers?
I mean, we could start a couple different places, right? We can talk about Brad Stevens deciding to the Celtics to intentionally foul Ben Simmons.
That was awful.
We can talk about him not burning his last time out when Jayson Tatum made that crucial turnover off the inbound pass.
Are we going to talk about Jayson Tatum not running the baseline to inbound that ball?
Wait.
That
Or you could be talking about how Jaylen Brown just fucking slipped out of nowhere.
He slipped out of nowhere. He didn't get pushed. Even though the NBA admitted that it was a foul.
It should have been a foul.
All right, then.
So where do you want to start when we're talking about Celtics' late game execution?
I don't think the late game execution was actually the biggest problem of the night.
Yo, nobody was talking to you, Sean. Right? I was asking Joel.
You didn't say that. But I don't think late game execution was the big problem.
It's like talking to Jordan over here.
All right, well, what's the big problem then?
The big problem was the fact that in that game, you didn't have Marcus Smart. So your big men didn't have support. Because I think, like, everyone wants to blame the big man for Embiid going off. But the fact that Embiid went off
I don't.
is because Marcus Smart wasn't there just giving him havoc all game. And I know everyone's going to get mad. I know everyone's going to say, but why if everyone wants to anoint Jaylen Brown as being the next big thing on this Celtics team, why did he have 8 points? Why was he 0 in the second half?
Okay.
Why did he have 5 fouls again after getting fouled out of the night before?
Tell me why. Jalen did go 0 for 4 in the second half. That's true.
So
0 for 4. Cantor has more shot attempts than Jaylen Brown. That's a loss every day.
So let's talk about why Scott torched Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum was always trying to go for a steal. Why don't you just play up man-to-man defense down low? Yeah, okay.
Why would I? So why when I bring up a Jaylen Brown point, do you always have to bring up a Jayson Tatum point?
Because you that's what you like to do. You like
I don't like to.
So
I don't like to.
You're gonna blame the Celtics losing on Jaylen Brown, solely on Jaylen Brown, not Brad Stevens, not running plays.
I'm gonna bring up
Brad Stevens. His suspect substitutions as of late, especially in the fourth quarter. In the third quarter, Joel Embiid only had 6 points with Cantor guarding him for the majority of that.
He locked
quarter.
him down. I was just gonna say that, Sean.
So the bigs aren't the issue.
Yeah,
here.
don't.
the bigs were the issue.
But you can't say that Embiid was bodying Cantor.
No, but at the end of the
matchup.
game, though. At the end of the game,
that's what I'm getting at.
He figured out Cantor.
Stevens takes out Cantor, and then when Embiid starts to heat up, that's when he tried to throw Cantor back on him. Like, oh,
it didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense. So why did you take out Cantor off of him?
But if Marcus Smart was in the game, you have Marcus Smart on Embiid at some point.
I get that.
That's causing him
okay.
headaches all day.
So then if this team is so deep, why did you every game when they lose, especially when it's a big man, which is not even, it hasn't even been the issue this year because of like their schedule, because Embiid didn't really go off in the first game they played against them. But my point is, every time there's a defensive collapse, it's always, oh well, Marcus Smart wasn't playing, so that's I don't buy that.
Yeah, I don't buy it either.
I don't buy that.
I don't.
Okay, are you?
I'm not saying Marcus Smart is not an important piece. That's not what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is that it's sort of the opposite. It's like, don't blame the bigs. Like,
I'm not blaming the bigs.
Don't blame the bigs on this, because like everyone wants to point at the center position and say that's how they're going to get rocked in the East.
Like, look, Tice and Cantor combined for 36 points, 14 rebounds. You can't ask for more.
I mean, there's a reason for that, though, right, Joel? I mean, the Philadelphia 76ers, they pretty much just left them open out there because they're like, look, if we're going to lose, we're going to lose to you guys. We're going to lock down Kemba Walker. This is, of course, in the second half, right?
Yeah,
Kemba Walker had himself a field day in the first half,
yeah.
Right? So we're going to lock down Kemba Walker. We're going to add pressure to Jayson Tatum. Jaylen Brown's in the mix somewhere. We'll see what happens with him, but that's our primary focus. Those two guys.
Right.
And if we have to live with open jump shots for Cantor, that's what we're going to live with.
And Cantor had that little jump shot at the free throw line, like 3 straight possessions in a row.
3 straight
that
times.
was
Like,
money.
you guys shouldn't give this to me. And he
nailed
it. He did what you're supposed to do.
I think Cantor showed a lot of like why
Like,
they signed him.
Absolutely.
They let him be him.
Yep.
For the first time, I feel like this season. Like they let him be free. They gave him a lot of minutes, and he fucking took advantage of every single second that he was out there.
But because of that, though, because they gave him that opportunity, the Celtics came back. They cut that deficit in that fourth quarter. Yeah. But then that's when you're expected to see Kemba Walker take things over, or Jayson Tatum take things over.
All right, so let me give a stat real quick. Hold on. Between Walker, Tatum, and Brown, in the second half combined, they went 3 for 22 from the field.
But 2 of Jayson Tatum's shots were money when they needed it the most at the end of the game.
The 2 big 3-pointers, especially the second one, which cut it down to a 1-point deficit.
But that's what I mean.
Then he's the same guy who made the turnover.
I know.
Off the inbound.
Okay,
pass.
you're gonna call that on whose fault is that?
Him. He didn't run the baseline, bro.
But he had a guy wide open, and whether he got fouled or he slipped, Jaylen Brown, like that scenario right there with Jaylen Brown and Josh Richardson, that was a problem. Like that.
If he
once
felt like
Jayson Tatum left his hands, he can't take it back. He was right there, then he fell.
First off, it was a bad pass.
Why?
It was a bad pass. He threw it at his fucking feet, bro.
No,
it was a bad pass. Number one.
But
Number two,
hey, no,
if
you've
he
had
felt
those
like-
passes.
hold on,
You've had those
if he felt-
passes where you have it and you right as you're releasing it, you can't get it back and you try to pull it back and it goes down.
But if he felt rushed to make that pass, there's still another timeout. Why don't you call the timeout?
Also,
That's on
Brad.
That's on Brad as well.
But I do think like growing pains are fine at the end of the game execution. But I mean, the biggest thing to me is where is your biggest players in the biggest moments? That's always what it comes down to.
Yeah, but when you talk about Jayson Tatum, though, he hit those 2 clutch shots. I mean, I'm not faulting Jayson Tatum. Obviously, he made the biggest mistake down the stretch when he came to that inbound pass.
You're putting that on him.
But the Celtics shouldn't have been in that situation.
Why are we putting it on that on Tatum?
Because look, Tatum already in the game. Besides those 2 big threes, already in the game, he's struggling. Right. And in the first half, in the opening quarter, aggressive, going to the hoop, scored 6 quick points, got to the free throw line twice. The only time he went to the free throw line in the rest of the game. Right. So then, what the hell happened the rest of the game? Like, it can't just be Walker trying to like.
No, I tell you what happened.
It can't be just Walker because that's what happened last season.
I tell you what happened. It was Philadelphia's defense, and I think obviously Joel Embiid is the anchor of that defense, and it's contagious in the sense of everybody's so committed to the defense that's what led to them eventually grabbing the lead. Well, like you look at someone like Josh Richardson, right?
Made Tatum Brown his bitch all game.
Mike Scott.
He made Tatum his bitch. Tatum was always trying to go for a steal instead of just D'ing up. Stay in front of your man. And Scott is not that big to begin with.
And they did this without Al Horford.
Exactly.
Like I really like this is what I've been talking about since the summertime. Like
but they also did it without Marcus Smart.
When it comes to their defense,
I'm not taking too much from this game. Is what I'm going to come out with.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
I'm not taking. No, you can't play without Marcus Smart.
If it was
and Gordon Hayward coming 2 games off.
Okay, so then what happened in game 1? Then this is 2 losses we're talking about against Philadelphia 76ers. This team is a problem
that you could have won.
This team is a problem
that you could have won. Both games you could have won.
That's what I take away from it. Is like we weren't outmatched. Like we had people that weren't ready to play or first game of the season, whatever. Like this game, you without Marcus Smart, who has proven this year has been one of the most valuable people on the team, and without Al Horford,
he's the unofficial captain.
This is hard to look at. And the Celtics were right there. 1 shot at the end of the game. 1 foul that wasn't a foul. That should have been a call to foul. Would have been the turning point of the game.
But they should have been there, though. They should.
Yeah, they should have.
It's the little.
Philly's not an awful team.
It's the little things that they're not capitalizing on without realizing you got a timeout left, or I don't know. It's just a bunch of little things.
What I give it to,
like Philly right now, 2 wins, and the 2 wins they're showing that they're mentally tougher than the Celtics.
I don't. Okay, that I 100% don't believe. But what I do believe is that they got Philly on game 1, and they got Philly right after Shaq and Chuck called out Joel Embiid for not being a superstar.
So that's significant.
And I think Joel Embiid is one of those players that is like,
proves my mental,
I can be immediately motivated, but then I'm gonna fade back into what I want to do and how I want to settle in. Like I think like right off that he's like, well, I gotta score 50 tonight. You know what I mean? And damn near scored 40 some odd points.
Yeah, 38 points.
38 points. So it is what it is, man.
Most of his damage late in the 4th quarter. That's what I'm trying to say.
He did.
He didn't have a dominant game from
from
the opening tip to the last. No, because that 3rd quarter he was held in check, and Brad was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna take out Cannon right now, yeah, and I'm gonna throw in fucking Semi on him. Oh, I'm gonna throw in a little bit of more Tice. No, like you had Cantor. This was Cantor's game. Yeah, this was Cantor's game. He was fucking balling up on both ends.
You can't expect Canada to play the 24 minutes in the second half.
In one game? Why not?
I just think the Celtics need to... I just think between now and the next meeting, they need to figure out what they're going to do the next time they face this team. Because I really do think the Philadelphia 76ers...
Which is around the corner.
I don't want to say that they're like the best team in the Eastern Conference, but they're a really tough matchup for the Celtics.
But
if these 2 teams meet each other in the playoffs...
That is the only team I worry about.
It's a coin flip right now, if you ask me.
If fully healthy, with Marcus Smart, and a fully healthy Gordon Hayward who's back in his stride... I think that the games will be a little bit different. Like I do, and you know why I'm not worried about it.
That's what I thought heading into this game.
But again,
I was thinking we might even see a Celtics win in a blowout fashion.
And again,
but that wasn't the case.
Horford didn't play. Horford, and if you're talking about the Celtics being healthy, then the next time they play, if both teams are healthy, and this is the same outcome down the stretch, the small things that you didn't do or you didn't capitalize on. Then what's the excuse going to be?
And the other thing that's driving me crazy as well is the defending the 3-point arc.
Yeah, that's
Why-
usually their MO.
Why does Philly get to go off the way they did against the Celtics? Like, why is
That's been happening lately.
Yeah, it's been happening lately with other opponents as well.
Like-
Why can't the Celtics slow teams down from the perimeter, and then when it comes down to late game execution, Kemba Walker, that's the guy I want to have the ball in his hands. But I did not like that attempt whatsoever against Philadelphia. And then he tried to say that the ball got tipped.
That was bullshit.
That we all knew that wasn't the case.
Another game, and I brought this up, little shameless plug. I brought it up on the CLNS post-game show against Cleveland. Walker had to come back in the game after they were pretty much blowing out Cleveland and hit 3 back-to-back 3-pointers for them to be like, okay, now it's done. And I said because it's Cleveland, it's not a big deal, but they can't get away with that when it's teams like playoff teams.
Okay,
and it happened with the Pacers when they had a 10-point lead,
Yep.
and it happened with the Sixers
What does
when
that
they were
come
back
down
and
to,
forth.
though? What does that come down to?
Late game execution.
No, so here's my thing.
Late game, like-
I don't think it's late game execution because in each of those games, they had leads. And when the leads dissipated, they took out, like you said, Cantor.
Well, when I say
They took out Kemba and Jalen and Jason.
but when I say late game execution,
The prob-
that includes Brad because he's the one calling the shots.
I don't think it's on Brad yet, but I
No,
think
I'm not
what,
saying
what I
like
what
it's
I
a combination of
No,
things.
but there's a two game losing streak against 2 playoff teams. That's not good.
Yeah.
But the problem is what
They've
is
had a
exposed to me.
relatively easy schedule compared to other playoff teams.
What's been exposed to me though is the lack of scoring or just players, NBA players on your bench. You're relying on Carson Edwards, Grant Williams, who I've been extremely disappointed with Grant Williams since I anointed him the next 6th man of the whatever the fuck I said in the
Whatever you said about him.
I was jerking his chain hardcore, bro. But those, like, who's on your bench? Who is on your bench that will come in and score? So but for real though, Joel,
But
you have
Cantor-
nobody on your bench who can
but
score.
But the last 2 games, Cantor scored in double figures.
It doesn't matter.
Brad Wanamaker scored in double figures.
Nope, not enough.
So I mean, I get
I'm
it.
sorry, a bench of Brad Wanamaker, Cantor, and then 2 rookies who can't really do much.
But if your starting 5 is scoring in double digits, which happened,
They have,
which happened in these
but
last
they're
3
gonna
games.
have bad games. Right? That's what I'm trying to get at, Joel. The Philly game. Did any of the starters play particularly well other than Kemba Walker?
But it's not a good look, and it's not. And all I'm saying is,
But they can
for
have those games in the regular season.
But I'm saying, but for those who believe that this team is fine the way they are, they need to tweak some shit, and this includes Brad Stevens with his. How many times in the last couple episodes you've said like, yo, why is Brad putting out these mixture of
Oh yeah, because
what I'm saying?
you know why though, Joel? It's because he doesn't trust his bench. Like if he did trust his bench, there wouldn't be a lineup of Wanamaker, Ojale, Brown, Cantor, and Robert Williams. That should never be in lineup, right?
Oh, I got you.
But the thing is though, is like what and I know everyone's gonna be saying, oh, Sean's just saying trade people again, but like you literally need to look at your rookie class and if you're not gonna get anything out of Romeo Langford this year, if you're not gonna get anything out about Carson Edwards this year, and even Grant Williams this year, which I don't think is going to be a valuable trade. Chippy's you're worth more to you than anybody else.
Well, those 3 guys you just mentioned, their contracts aren't like.
But I'm just saying, no.
They're not like.
Hey, trade for roster openings, and then sign Jamal Crawford or sign J.R. Smith or sign somebody who's going to be able to come off the bench and just score points. You know what I mean? Because at this point, this team needs veteran presence on that bench because Carson hasn't showed me anything in this regular season.
Well, I mean, once Smart comes back,
You have Smart on your bench.
Smart
And
on
you
your
have
bench,
Cantor
and
on
you
your
got
bench.
Cantor on your bench.
So what do you need on the bench? With you got a hard nosed guys and you got a big man. What do you need? And you got Robert Williams there too.
But he's in and out. That's what I'm saying.
But what
He's in and out.
what else do you need
on?
on that bench to make it a full bench? You need a
Another
scorer.
shooter.
You need a scorer or a shooter.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what this team is lacking right now. And I'm sorry, Celtics fans. Carson Edwards is not filling that role anytime soon. Maybe he
Carson-
will eventually, but are you going to be patient?
I know, but Carson went up to Maine, so he wasn't even a factor in the Philly game.
Well, he played in
Okay.
Indiana.
All right, so then let me ask you
In
this.
Indiana, they had at least the number 30 and number 29 bench team went against each other, and we got outscored by like 3 times by their bench.
This episode of the Causeway Street Podcast is powered by ExpressVPN. You can stream every NBA game live for a fraction of the normal cost thanks to ExpressVPN. And here's how it works. The NBA offers League Pass, which lets you stream games online, but if you live in the US or Canada, it doesn't let you watch them all. Some games are blacked out. So what do? Fire up ExpressVPN and use it to change your location to a different country. Buy and use the NBA League Pass from there, and boom. No blackouts. And depending on your country, NBA League Pass could cost about $15 for the whole year. Doesn't that sound a lot better than $200? ExpressVPN works on your computer, phone, router, and consoles like Fire TV, so you can watch all the games from any device. Even when I'm not watching the NBA, I have ExpressVPN on 24/7 because it also encrypts all my data, keeping it safe from hackers. Enjoy all 1,230 NBA games throughout the season in HD with the world's most trusted VPN. ExpressVPN. Get 3 months free at vpn.com/street, after which you can sign up for NBA League Pass at a huge discount. You don't want to miss out on this deal. That's expressvpn.com/street. for 3 months free with a 1-year package. Visit expressvpn.com/street to learn more. Let's get back to this podcast.
All right, let me ask you this then. And I have to ask it, even though I don't agree with maybe your answer. Why do they bring up Taco Fall if they weren't going to give him a little taste?
I don't think Taco Fall is a problem right now. I don't think Taco Fall is a problem. No, sorry, not a problem, but an answer to a problem, because I don't think center depth is a problem. The problem is we have nobody who can come in off the bench. And you know what? Maybe Carson Edwards in 2-3 years is going to turn into that guy. But at this point, when you get a team and a wide open Eastern Conference, you can't just sit around and wait for Carson Edwards to figure it out. I'm sorry, you can't. So if you got to put him in if you got to trade him for a draft pick next year, if you got to trade Grant Williams for a second round draft pick next year, if you got to trade what the fuck is the kid's even name? You
said Romeo?
Romeo Langford for a future first from like a team that, like the Golden State Warriors or whatever. Like 2 years out, you get a first round draft pick. You do it because you free a roster spot up, and then you can bring in a Jamal Crawford. You can bring in a J.R. Smith, and that to me is right now. Not to like push the panic button, but you need somebody that can score on your bench. And that's just
it though. Like I have two issues with that, with what you're saying, because to a certain extent, I do agree that they do need some help off the bench. Veteran presence. I agree with that. But that's easier.
They need it, man.
It's easier said than to actually go out and find someone like that, because number one,
I just gave you 2 names.
I understand that, but you have to get rid of you have a full roster.
But I know, but that's what I mean. Like,
but how are you going to pull that off though? If you can't find a trade partner for these guys that you're talking about, or any of these rookies or whoever,
my man, you can trade Grant Williams for a second rounder from Memphis in like 2021.
Yeah, but
like you can offload these guys.
But who's lining up to call Danny? Who's lining up? Who wants to mess with Danny right now?
No one. But,
that's what I'm saying.
Hey, if they're saying they give you a player,
there's that piece of it, and then the second thing is, if your starters are not getting it together when it counts the most, then that's another problem that needs to be addressed. And maybe these 5 days, whatever 5 days they got off. Maybe that's what they need.
Let's not push the panic button.
I'm not pushing the panic button.
I'm a panic button pusher. You know that.
Yes. Victim of the moment.
You're bringing up, if you're talking about starters and how to make changes there, I will give you that solution right now. And you know what my solution is.
No. Like I said, my only issue with Jayson Tatum, if you're going to anoint this man, Paul Pierce 2.0, I'm not, but other people are.
I am.
Then he needs to show me and everyone else why you've been anointed that. Like, I want to see, a combination of the things that we saw in the beginning of the season. Like during that 10-game winning streak, he was balling inside and out, rebounding. Like, I'm not seeing that as of late, especially pretty much since the beginning of this month. He's up and down, and that can't be. If you're like, he needs to realize defenses are going to collapse on him because he's going to be the focal point of the offense. Him and Kemba, right? So then you got to adjust your game. You can't just like, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. No, adjust. Make a little bit of little adjustments here and there.
Okay, there's a little bit on Brad.
Because and you know, we were texting each other during the Philly game. We were actually tweeting at each other.
You're very angry on the Twitter machine, bro.
Listen.
I'm all like trying to tell a joke, and Joel's is out there like, no, fuck you, bro. No, you better shut up. You better shut the fuck up right now.
I didn't curse.
You basically did. That's the tone I get.
I didn't curse.
That's the Twitter tone from the Causeway Street Podcast.
No, because it's like, you know, you're absent from the Twitter machine for a little bit, and all of a sudden,
it's not.
Oh, this is the game. This is the game you want to talk shit.
But it's not because
this is the game you want to talk shit.
I'm watching the games. I'm just not on Twitter.
I get you. But I'm just saying, just in general, as a Twitter account holder. I need more tweets from you.
It's hard. It's right? Hard for me to tweet.
You know, especially when we have, you know, CauseWayStreet.com things. And
it's hard for me to tweet, bro.
A retweet would be appreciated.
Hey, there was some bot out there at one point that was making me retweet everything you tweeted.
Yeah.
Why don't you turn that shit back on and we'll be okay?
All right. We'll figure something out. But all I was saying is the way Jayson Tatum started. And I'm not picking on him. I just want him to be great, bro. That's all. If you already believe you're great, then show us that you're great. You know what I'm saying? And it's only a little tweak. That's all he's got to do.
Hey, here's my thing.
But no. What I was going to say was, you came at me with, he's not that type of player, bro. He's not an inside king. He's a finesse player. I'm like,
no.
Since when, bro?
No.
Since when?
My
biggest, the first 2 years of his career?
My biggest thing about Tatum
but
is
his first 2 years of his career, he's averaging in the high 40s.
Here's why I love Tatum.
Percentage-wise, because he can drive anytime he wants to,
but
bro.
Relax for a minute. Okay, relax for a minute. First off, this is still his 3rd year in the league.
I need more than two
averaging
free throw attempts.
But hold on. Still his 3rd year in the league. He's averaging 20 points a game.
I get it.
He's shooting 40%.
I get it, but he's
2%.
struggling. He's struggling to get there. He's averaging 40%.
Look at who else is shooting 42% for the. No, he's 41.9.
He's 41.9 from the field.
Yes.
Overall.
Look who else is. Look who else is in the NBA. They're not bad players. And also,
you're like that's okay. And I'm like, no, that's not okay.
Hear me out. Here's why it's okay. Before you drop the bomb.
He's not a great shooter though. You keep saying he's a great shooter. He's not this year.
The reason why it's okay is because in the clutch, he is money. That's why I love Jayson Tatum.
Yeah, you know who else is clutch from time to time? Marcus Smart.
Why do you think I love Marcus Smart?
Okay, but is that what you want Tatum to be?
No, I want
you just want him to just chuck away from the 3-point land?
I think though, if you don't have
maybe he'll make it in the clutch and maybe he won't.
If you don't have the clutch gene, you're fucked. You're then James Harden. You want James Harden? You want some guy that can't close games out?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, I said that's the clutch gene. That's why I love Jayson Tatum.
Okay, but the thing I don't like about him is that he'll hit a 3 and then he'll just keep attempting. And it's like, bro, you got an open lane. You know, you can blow by most of your defenders.
He has been a little cursed this year though at the rim though. For some reason at the rim.
He's developed this thing now where he's like, "Oh, I'm a fadeaway jump shooter now."
Yeah, I know.
That's not you, bro.
I know.
That's not you.
That's that Kobe shit creeping back in.
That's not you. And I get it. You know, you can go back to when he got drafted, which I have to bring up. You didn't want the Celtics to draft Jayson Tatum.
No, I didn't want them.
You didn't want.
Hold on.
Markelle Fultz.
Let's talk about this.
Okay, but before you say what you're gonna say, what was the knock on Jayson Tatum? He's not a shooter. He shut up all the naysayers in the first 2 months of the season. It helped because the Celtics were on a 15, 16, 17 game winning streak in that first season of Jayson Tatum, where he was shooting lights out from behind the arc. He was like nearly 50% and he was taking a good amount. It's not like Rondo, for example. I love Rondo, but he's averaging 50% from the 3-point line, but he only takes like 3 a game. You know what I'm saying? So, but that wasn't Tatum. Tatum was averaging 4, 5 attempts and making damn near 50% of those. And he kept that up for a good chunk of that season.
And into the playoffs.
Correct. And that's why I want to see that Jayson Tatum combined with the taking it to the rack Jayson Tatum.
But I think you are seeing that growth from him, but at the same time,
he's falling into old habits.
But hold on.
He's falling into Kobe habits.
There's a reason why.
Only Kobe could pull that off, not him.
At the beginning of the season, he was getting to the rim at will, as we all wanted to see, but guess what he was doing? Missing layups. Like, it got into his head where I can't hit. He was literally through the first 10 games, he was like the historically worst shooter from 3 feet in.
Well, this is why he needs to make the adjustment, whether it's mental, whatever. Like
all I know is
this. Remember the game where he went what was it, like 1 for like 22 or some shit, and he went right to the Celtics practice center right after, and he's like, I need to work on my shots. 1 for 18. Well, yeah, 1 for 18. Sorry, and I'm not saying like you gotta like post on social media every time you go work out. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm getting at. But if you knew I gotta get more shots up. Oh, I gotta like be in the gym more. If you know you need to make these adjustments, then make these adjustments. Don't just say, it'll come to me eventually. No,
I am a little bit pissed off about all the Jayson Tatum hate because it's been out there. Because I do think it's unjustified. Because
it's more
at the end of the day, if you want to talk about efficiency, and if that's your big thing, then I don't know. Like you don't right now. The Celtics don't have a 6'10" small forward that's going to be able to get to the rim at ease. They have Tatum, and they have Gordon Hayward, okay? But you can't compare Tatum to Gordon Hayward in these situations.
No, I'm not.
Because Hayward's been in the league for 10 years. You know what I mean?
I know.
But here's my thing.
They're two,
at the end of the day,
they're two different players.
But people want to say, like, why is it taking Tatum 30 shots when it's taking Hayward 20 or whatever? But here's my thing.
Then they just look at the box scores and not watching the games.
At the end of the day, the Celtics go on funks. It's not because of Tatum, but Tatum doesn't help them get out of the funk sometimes.
Okay.
But at the end of the game, in the fourth quarter, in the last 5 minutes of the game, there is nobody on the team other than Jayson Tatum that I want that shot rotating to and him taking that shot. And tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind Kemba.
I wouldn't mind Kemba, but when it goes to Tatum,
all right, so let me ask
I
you
want
this.
Tatum over Kemba at the last 5 minutes of the game.
All right, so then let me ask you this then. Do the Celtics, when they're completely healthy, does a hierarchy need to be established?
I've been saying this for a while.
Because
I've been saying this for a while, bro. There's too many mouths to feed, but you've been telling me
but it's not. But it's not, because then, with that logic, they got rid of a lot of mouths from last season, and you're telling me there's still too many mouths to feed.
And they brought in Kemba Walker. I mean,
yeah, but
and you get a healthy Gordon Hayward.
You got rid of Morris. You got rid of Rozier. Yeah. You got rid of Kyrie. Those are three
mouths.
Three big mouths.
Hungry hippos, bro.
Al Horford's not here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't believe it last year, and I'm definitely not going to believe that this year. You know what I'm saying? So I think, again, it goes back to Brad Stevens. You got to figure it out, man, because it can't be a repeat of last season, because you don't have that talented. As great as this team has been so far, this team is not as talented on paper like they were a season ago, and you can't run into those same issues, because then you got to start looking at Brad Stevens as, like, is he legitimately the coach that everyone thinks he is?
All right. Damn. Good job, fellas.
Yo, did you just go change into a Buzz Lightyear outfit or what, bro?
That must have been the case.
Jesus Christ. Man,
that's so random. Why would you say that?
No, I just you're wearing it right now, bro.
Why do you say it like this is a television show?
No,
people can tell what you're talking about.
I'm just saying, me and Joel were just battling it out.
No, I know, but if you don't offer that context, it's like, wait, why would he? That's a random thing to say.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So Sean has one laying around, and I put it on. I like it. It's comfortable.
I got it laying around for my son who loves Buzz Lightyear. That's it. And then this motherfucker looks like remember when Toy Story 3 when they put him in the Spanish mode?
¿Cómo estás?
Ah, there he is. They put him in Spanish mode. There you go.
¿Qué tal, señor Dutra?
Imagine if I was just like Woody in Spanish right now, bro.
What always cracks me up about those is the two voices are always the same. There's always that one guy, and then there's a girl. The girl always cracks me up.
Tim Allen?
Like a little.
No. You're talking
kid.
about. Oh, I got you.
No, I'm talking about if you put something in SAP.
Yeah.
It's the same voices.
It's like the same three people.
Right.
Yeah. Yo, ¿cómo está? It's like, what? Whatever. Anyways, I will say this. Definitively, Jayson Tatum this year will be a better player than Jaylen Brown. After all that's said and done, after all that everyone wants to, after all the ashes settle, Jayson Tatum would be a better player than Jaylen Brown.
Do you think they'll both be All-Stars?
Why is it got to go back to that? Why can't they both be great?
Do you think they'll both be All-Stars?
I don't know. That Gordon Hayward shit fucks it up.
I'm surprised by your answer. I figured you would say absolutely not for Jaylen Brown.
Well, no, because I think at this point right now the Celtics have one All-Star in Kemba Walker, And then
No, they have 2.
No, but they'll have 2, right?
Yeah.
And it'll be Gordon Hayward, Jayson Tatum, or Jaylen Brown. And I think at this point, like, as much as everyone wants to jerk off about a 4-game spread about Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum's been from start to finish a better player. So I think the 2 All-Stars coming from the Celtics this year will be Kemba Walker and Jayson Tatum.
Yeah, that's 2 I'm thinking of. I wasn't even thinking about Gordon Hayward. And I'm saying that because of, the
but
time,
Hayward
the time
was making
he's
a
missed.
case. Yeah, he was making a case for a little bit there, though.
Oh, yeah, he was. But, it was so early. He hadn't even played 10 games yet. So he could still make it. Don't get me wrong. The numbers have been rock solid. But if we were talking about 2 All-Stars right now, if the All-Star game, if you could vote for All-Stars and the deadline was tomorrow, I think Jayson Tatum and Kemba Walker for sure.
Okay, there's number 3.
Jayson Tatum's already reached that point where he's an All-Star, man.
Let's hypothetically say the Celtics can get 3 in the All-Star game. Is it Hayward or is it Jaylen Brown?
It's Jaylen Brown. He's played more games. He's a 20-point scorer. He's shooting 50% from the floor.
What do you think?
Like I don't even think it's that close, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
Because what I've heard from a lot of Celtics fans is that Jaylen Brown is the future. Like, he's the guy.
Yeah, but
he had
always
4
been
good games.
No, he hasn't, bro. He has had more than 4 good games. It's been Tatum and Brown. Those are the future for this Celtics team. Kemba Walker's the president because he is getting older. So that's the core right now. Those 3. Gordon Hayward fits in there because he signed through this year. Technically, he's signing through next year, but it's a player option. So, I don't think that whole too many miles thing.
Jaylen Brown or Gordon Hayward, who you got?
Doesn't exist.
All-Star, 3rd All-Star.
Brown.
I don't think the Celtics going to have 3 All-Stars.
If Hayward didn't get injured,
the way the East is going. Because
but if Hayward wasn't injured, though, there was an argument to be made that Hayward was the best all-around player for the Celtics.
Here's what's going to come to. Here's what's going to come down to is, like, you're going to look at a bunch of people in the Eastern Conference. There's been a bunch of people. You're going to take Jaylen Brown over Devontae Graham in the All-Star team this year.
Well, first of all, they would classify him as a forward.
Yeah.
Actually, I was just going to say
Gordon Hayward. The bench ain't about that.
Gordon Hayward has a better chance because he's a guard.
But the bench ain't about that.
Well, it's not about being a starter. I just think that's
I'm saying the bench. They're just going to pick the best players.
Well, first off, Graham is out for who knows how long.
Oh wait, what happened?
He's injured with a fractured finger. He's going to miss at least 5 games. That's what the team is saying. So,
I got Gordon Hayward.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, man, really? You just turned him into a verb? Come on, man. That's fucked up.
Well,
that's
what happened.
It is what it is, bro. It is. I don't know. There's a lot of.
I don't know if the Hornets are downplaying it. Like, no, it's not as serious.
So then Jonathan Isaac.
A fracture's a fracture.
All right, look, I didn't bring this up to break down the entire All-Star.
All right, there's a lot of good players in the
team.
Eastern Conference this year.
My point is, if we're talking about 3 Celtics players making the All-Star team, if at this point in the season, then I think they're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I do think they're in good shape, and I do think that no matter the losses that they had against the Pacers and the 76ers, my confidence is not shaken. It's not.
All right.
When Marcus Smart comes back, we're going to be all right.
All right, we neither. We'll see what happens because obviously this 5-day break is going to be beneficial for this group, and of course we have to look forward and see what the schedule looks like because I think the Celtics could turn this thing around. 2 losses, it's not exactly what I predicted. I thought that they would make a statement by winning both of those games, but that just serves to show that
you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yep, exactly.
Same here, bro. I thought I had him pick winning 4 in a row.
Yeah,
I was on a roll too. I had the last 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks.
Who
or so.
said they were going to lose to the Cavaliers?
Well,
you.
We were all wrong, technically.
Well,
I like how Joel just wouldn't say I did. He's like, we were all wrong, technically.
We're all wrong, technically. Whatever.
It
It doesn't even matter.
That's a Joel thing to do.
But we all
very.
We don't know what we're talking about, right? Because apparently it just takes one of us to make to throw out an opinion. It's like, oh, all 3 of you guys don't know what you're talking about. You guys suck. You guys
no, that's YouTube.
Yeah, that's what they sound like. So
yeah, it all sound like that.
All right, what do we got going on?
Well, let's do a new slate of predictions here, and let's get into Sean Dutra's segment of looking ahead.
All right, let's look ahead, baby.
Let's see what we got.
What do we got?
What's next on the docket?
When you look ahead. All right, and the Celtics have been off for 5 days, so that's about it.
It's quite the looking ahead there, bro.
But then when they come back, they play the Mavericks.
And where do they play the Mavericks?
In Dallas. And Luka Doncic is the MVP.
I agree.
That's all I have to say.
I agree.
And there's literally nothing else we can look ahead to because apparently we're in the middle of the Celtics bye week, which is ridiculous to me that that's a new thing, and people are still resting their players in the NBA. It's ridiculous.
But I think we'll get a good matchup in Dallas. We'll see. It's going to be a tough game for the Celtics, I think, because they're playing over there.
I'm going 1-0.
So you're not going to do the rest of the schedule?
You realize Sean hasn't said at any point they're going to lose in any of these first 3 weeks.
Oh,
or so.
no.
If
Sean was dead on, the Celtics would be 23-0 right now. They'd just be crushing it.
Hey, you know what?
It'd be the greatest start we've ever seen.
All right, am I looking ahead?
No,
Yes.
Do you want me to look ahead? Do you want me to look
man,
way far ahead?
What you got?
All right, I'm getting on my fucking telescope right now to look ahead because it's so far ahead. Again, I am not a fan of 5 days off. I'm not.
Clearly.
I am not. Especially when I'm trying to look ahead. But then, okay, Celtics Mavericks in Dallas on Wednesday night.
They do need a time off, though.
All right, time off is good.
Yeah, you told us about that one. What's the next one?
Pistons at Boston. Again, we're going to Texas to Boston like it's fucking DC to Boston. No, it's not even close. Why do we? Oh my God! All right, fine. We'll see. Well, last time the Celtics did play well on that weird back-to-back thing.
Well, it's not back-to-back. It's Friday.
I'm saying if you play in Texas
That's true.
on Wednesday and then you fly back and then you have to play on Friday, that's whatever. Pistons and then the Hornets. Terry Rozier makes his way back to Boston. Apparently, Devontae Graham is not going to play in this game because apparently he's injured. I never knew about that before.
Fractured finger,
now,
bro. Fractured finger.
fractured fucking finger, kid.
Is Terry going to go off? Is this the game we're going to see him go off?
Yes. If there's one game, I will say, I think I may try to get tickets to this game because I want to wear my Scary Terry jersey.
It's a Sunday, too. 6 o'clock tip. Not
Sunday, 6 o'clock. Terry Rozier. No Devontae Graham. I think Terry Rozier has himself a game. I do. And I'm going to love it. Now, hey, getting back to our thing, Terry Rozier gets the tribute video. 1,000% he does.
No, he's not going to get one.
1,000% he does.
So Al Horford doesn't get one, but they'll give one to Rozier?
They gave it to Al.
No, they gave him a standing ovation.
Yeah.
That's it.
See, and that's what pisses me off. People were like, oh, they give it to everybody. Like, no, they don't. Like, that's not the same.
Okay,
Recognizing
I bet you,
a former player is not a tribute video.
I
It's
bet
two different
you
things.
Terry Rozier is going to get a little vid of him in the playoffs that year.
Oh, like the Scary Terry shit?
Maybe
The Scary Terry
they
shit.
might show like one highlight and then put him on the big screen.
Yeah,
like
that's
show
what I
that.
mean. Yep, yeah.
Show
That's going to happen.
Bledsoe with the shirt.
Bledsoe, and then, because you know what?
Bledsoe just comes out center court.
Not all right. Presents up.
And Bledsoe was just like the on-court announcer that night.
He finally gives him that wine he was talking about. Remember?
Yeah,
talking
he's
about
like,
the
Yeah,
wine.
hey.
he's going to present them with the Scary Terry limited edition rosé.
Rosé.
Yeah, I want that shit.
Rozier's gonna open it and just chug it right in the center
And
court.
then just play basketball. He's like, yeah, I play drunk all the time anyways, man, so what the fuck is this? This is nothing.
In the beginning of the fourth quarter, he's just yakking.
Normally I drink Hennessy, but, I mean, rosé would be fine.
So what? 3-0.
Off a 5-game break, 3-0, definitely.
But you say you're not a fan of the break, so what if...
I'm not a fan of it because I like to watch basketball.
Oh.
Yeah, 3-0. I'm going 3-0.
Like I'm just,
Overtime
I-
win in Dallas.
Like right now is right towards the season where I'm like, hey Paula, I got the TV, every other night type shit. Now she's gonna get too busy watching HGTV. Wednesday comes and then I don't know. Am I gonna get it? I don't know.
There's other basketball games to watch, bro. It's just...
I know, man, but it's
there's-
No, I know. You know what Sean's saying though. Sean's saying he's gonna be watching people, fix up starter uppers,
no, it's ridiculous.
fixing up houses.
You got multiple TVs.
And
in
plus,
there, though,
I'm not gonna lie. Wednesday's Survivor night, bro. So it's tough.
Jeez.
Wednesday night games are tough for me.
Sounds like it's not Paula. That's all about watching other things.
Hey, anybody out there that's a Survivor fan, you're in the same boat as me. I went to work the next day and I was like, does anyone watch Survivor here? And they were like, you still watch Survivor, bro?
Yeah, I would have kept that to myself.
Yeah, man.
What else do you watch? You watch something else that's questionable.
No, Paula watches Big Brother. I don't fuck with that shit, bro.
Big Brother, no, something else.
No.
Oh, 90 Day Fiance, that's your shit.
No, I don't fuck.
Yeah, you do, bro.
No, Paula watches that shit too.
You can give me an update
She
longer
got,
than what you just said.
She
about
got
that.
Gabby into that. It's the worst show ever.
Yeah, it's the worst show ever.
It's fucking stupid.
It's the worst show ever.
I'd rather watch Love and Hip Hop than.
All right. Thank you for that extended version of looking ahead.
Hey, there's not a lot of basketball games to look ahead to, so
Clearly.
I might as well give you the Survivor update, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Not one of your best stories, though.
Yeah. All right. Not to bum you guys out, but let's wrap this show up the way we wrap up every single episode here on Causeway Street with Joel's In Case You Missed It.
ECIYY.
Sounds like a fucking chore. He's like,
Joel, what did we miss?
in case you missed it.
In case you missed it.
In case you missed it.
All right, in case you missed it. The Heat have suspended Dion Waiters yet again.
What happened?
He's been suspended through December 23rd for, and I quote, failing to adhere to policies and violating rules and continued insubordination, according to the Heat.
Did he take another edible?
Probably. She just can't.
You think he just was like, yo, you think I can't hold an edible? I'm going to do mad cocaine.
No, there's got to be something else.
You
There's got to
think
be
he's a
something
meth
else.
head? Probably a meth head, huh?
Yes, definitely. No. Freaking meth head.
Well, what is it then? What is it?
I don't know, man. He's just got problems. Maybe he wants to be the guy, and he's like, no, don't listen to Jimmy. Take more edibles. Jimmy's like, no,
more.
no more edibles. I don't know. Who knows? Obviously, they're not going to fucking talk about why he's been suspended. So it is what it is for Dion, who has yet to play a game this year.
He hasn't even played this year?
No. He hasn't played a
Why did
fucking
they
game.
suspend him for 10 games if he didn't play this year?
Because he picked the worst coach
Yeah.
to behave this way with.
No, because he was injured to start the season, and then
Like, Spoelstra's not going to put up with this
yeah,
stuff.
he was injured to start the season. And then the whole plane ride where he was freaking out
Yeah.
because he took, I don't know who knows how many edibles he took.
And who knows what else happened that we don't know about.
So yeah, I mean, he was injured to start the season, and then they're like, well, even when you do get healthy,
You're fucking fucked.
yeah, 10 games banned.
Yeah.
And now I don't know how many games between now and December 23rd for them, but that's, yeah.
By the way-
he hasn't played a game yet this season.
By the way, have they not realized, like, in Miami, like, not having a job is bad for you because there's so much shit you can get into in Miami? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. When you,
Like, oh, hey, Dion, don't come to the facility for 10 days. He's like, I can figure out something to do. For 10 days, he's like, fine. I'll just fucking drink and smoke and do whatever the fuck I want to do for 10 days.
Just go hang out on South Beach.
I know.
It's a lot
That's
of
what I
stuff to do.
mean. Like if that was Milwaukee, you'd be like, okay, I gotta get my act together.
I'll go to the Cleveland.
I gotta go back. I gotta get my act together. But in Miami, he's like, okay,
Look.
I'll just go tell everyone I'm an NBA player and just go on South Beach right now.
right.
I'll be fine.
Right. For the bachelor party, no surprise. You know, we've been talking about this. We were down in Miami. What do we run into almost everywhere we went?
Cocaine.
Someone always trying to fucking sell you some coke.
Cocaine.
So imagine other shit.
Now, by the way, we did not do any cocaine.
Yeah, please. That should go without saying.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is,
There's your disclaimer.
like if a group of guys who aren't as famous as someone like Dion Waiters is running into that, imagine Dion Waiters what he's running into.
Oh yeah, he's running into that cocaine. They didn't even call it cocaine. They cocaine.
Coca.
I'm in love with the cocoa.
So I don't know. Good luck to Dion and his adventures out there in Miami. In case you missed it, the Cleveland Cavaliers have made Kevin Love available. Possible trade talks.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Love, reportedly, would like to be traded to the Trail Blazers.
Why?
Don't know, but that's one of the teams that he's interested in getting traded
He seems
to.
like he would fit in pretty well in Portland. But if you go to Portland, why'd you leave Minnesota in the first place, you know?
That was so long ago. It was in a completely different situation.
No, I'm
What do
saying
you mean?
city-wise.
Bro,
He was trying to win, man. He wanted to
that was 5 years
play
ago.
with LeBron James. Yeah.
All right, so this motherfucker. So hold on. This motherfucker wants, like, he's an NBA star.
Yeah.
And he went from Minnesota to Cleveland. And now he's like, you know what? The only place I want to go is Portland.
Well, I'm not saying that's the only place.
Wait.
One of the teams.
L.A., New York, Miami, Houston. What? Like, no, you just want to go to Portland?
I'm not saying that's the only team. That's
I'm just
one
saying
of the
those
teams
are the three, like,
that he's reportedly interested in going
weirdest cities in the world. And he's like, oh, that's where I want to go.
Well,
I think he's probably considering the team and what they have on the roster. But
I mean, you can add him to the list of what these crazy Celtics fans wouldn't mind trading Gordon Hayward or whoever on the squad for. And I don't know. I think Kevin Love's game just doesn't match what the Celtics trying to do now.
no, it doesn't.
It's 5 years too late.
It's not 2015 anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also you got to give up like contracts for him.
Yeah, no, this
He would be fine on the team, but
like you were talking about.
for what you got to give up to him, you can't.
We were talking about Gordon Hayward earlier, and that's like the topic of Celtics Twitter. I just trade Gordon for Steven Adams or Kevin Love.
No,
Or just like that's not how this works.
Nope.
It's not how any of this works. Stop it.
You could, but
You could.
You
but
could.
No,
No,
but
it is actually how
no,
it
I know,
works.
I know, right? But you were saying it as if like, yeah, they could. It would match contracts, but that wouldn't be a good trade. No.
No.
I
Stop
mean,
it.
if you get a first-round draft pick back from Cleveland for Kevin Love,
Well, Tristan Thompson is like, what? You hear yourself?
wait, if Cleveland gives you their first round next year, and you trade Gordon Hayward for Kevin Love, are you down?
No.
That's a top 3 draft pick next year.
Why would they get that up? They're trying to get rid of these big contractors, literally
To
trying to rebuild.
That's it. Maybe they think they have enough in Sexton. I don't know. Or would you take a gamble on next year's first round draft pick from Cleveland if they throw that in the deal for Gordon Hayward, who they know they can get out of the contract next year? They have some incentive to do that. They're thinking that we'll be better. Colin Sexton will be another year older. Who's the other dude on the team?
Garland.
Yeah, Garland will be
Darius
another year
Garland.
older. We'll
Yeah,
have our
but
first
see,
round draft pick
I
as a top 3 pick.
I'm still a believer in let's let this thing play out. Don't disrupt the core.
I
you
know. I'm just
And
saying.
Gordon Hayward is a strong piece of that core.
I'm not going to say no to that deal. I wouldn't say no to that deal.
I just think it's tricky when you deal with someone like Gordon Hayward who could opt out of his contract.
That's a big
things,
thing.
It could make things relatively easier for you moving forward if
Yeah,
you were to
because-
opt out
yeah.
and take less money
Yeah.
and put the Celtics
Well,
in a
no.
better shape financially.
No, Gordon's not opting out and signing back with the Celtics.
So you think if he opts out, he's
gone.
He's gone.
Someone else will pay him more money. Yes.
I don't
Like
know.
if
We'll
if Gordon Hayward opts out, it's the Celtics are okay with that because they could then sign Tatum to a big deal and then have some cap room available.
Right, and they have his
That's-
bird rights and
But yeah, it's still even if.
But do you think Kevin Love? Do you think Kevin Love still has it? I don't think. I don't know.
no,
What
I
do you
don't think.
about
I don't
Kevin
think.
Love?
I just said it. I don't think his game matches this roster.
Why? But
I don't know. He's not the same guy.
you don't think Kevin Love still has it? Because
I'm not
right
saying
now he
I'm
doesn't.
not saying he still has it.
Right now he doesn't.
I'm not saying he still has it, but like, have we been watching Kevin Love these last few years? Like when he was the number one guy.
no, he's balling out.
Completely-
He's having a good season. You know,
Yeah.
he's been solid. But
But he hasn't had Kevin Love numbers though.
Right, but I don't think when it comes to him coming to Boston, he's not going to have Kevin Love numbers.
Yeah.
He's not going to have Minnesota Kevin Love numbers because he can't on this team. Because that's not what he would be able to do. That's not his role.
He's basically Cantor and a 3-point
An
shooting
overpaid Cantor who can shoot threes, maybe a little bit. But to Joel's point, the way this team runs the floor, the way their offense, yeah, he doesn't really fit in with what they're doing.
No.
I could see him in a Cantor-like role in the sense of not being in the game at the end of the games, depending on who they're matching.
Starting
against.
lineup would be Kemba, Brown, Tatum, Love, Tice.
Okay, is that better than what they have now? I don't know.
I think so.
I'm not quite sure.
I think it's more well rounded. I think Kevin Love's more of a power forward than Gordon Hayward will ever be, right?
Yeah, but does that matter?
Plus you got a
in today's
2021.
NBA?
Plus you got a 2021 first round pick that now that Hayward's there, he's definitely going to leave Cleveland and they'll probably suck again next year.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm not into trading this core. I mean, no. But
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes. I'm
I
not
can
saying
see.
I like it.
I can see
I'm
why
not
people
saying
would
no,
be
though.
open to do it.
I'm not saying no though.
I can see why people.
It all depends on what the first round draft pick you can get back.
Okay.
Because Love's locked in for another 2 years, I think, after this year
2 years. Yeah.
at like $28 million.
Otherwise, we there would be more conversations about a potential buyout. But
Oh,
because
yeah.
of that extra year,
I like how the Cleveland. I do like how Cleveland was like, yeah, you know what? We're contemplating trading him. It's like, no, motherfucker. No one wants to trade for him. Like, if you would have traded him last year when fucking Kyrie and LeBron left, you would have traded his
Right.
ass.
Right.
No one wanted to. Like,
Right.
what are you talking about?
this isn't by choice.
No, definitely not by choice.
I think he didn't even play like half the year, though, so that was kind of hard to move him.
Oh, there you go, Joel.
Well, it's the same reason why Draymond Green isn't playing right now. Why isn't anyone talking about that? He's not injured, all right? He's taking the year off. Can we just say that? Okay, the team's trash.
Why isn't anyone talking about it?
And he's like, I'm not going to play and be on this losing team and expose myself.
You just said it. The team's trash, so why no one's even looking at Golden State?
So that's exactly what happened with Kevin Love last season. This year, it's just like, okay, look, let's just all, believe in these kids. Let's just do our best and put everyone on the floor. But if you look at what's going on in San Francisco, I mean, Draymond Green. Think about it. If Draymond Green were to continue to play with these guys, and let's say he had the same numbers, or even his numbers aren't even as good as they usually are, then it would be like, okay, you're exposing him to the player he really is, which is someone who isn't as valuable when he doesn't have top tier all-star superstar talent right next to him.
Yeah. Sort of like what's happening to Kevin Love right now.
Sort of.
But at the same time, I dream of Minnesota Kevin Love when he was dropping 40 points,
but that
12 rebounds, 5 assists, and that was like every night.
Collecting 2020, put together 2020.
Mr. 2020 was Kevin Love, man. I still think that's out there, but again, any power forward that LeBron James plays with, he ruins. Ask Chris Bosh.
Yeah, because
Wait till Anthony Davis.
That was LeBron James' fault.
It was LeBron James' fault.
That was LeBron James' fault that he had freaking blood clots?
No, that he settled to be a 3-point shooter because LeBron had to have the lane.
Okay, so then even after he left.
LeBron James gave him blood clots. It was weird. He sat next to him in the locker room and said, hey, blood clots on you right now. And he's like, what? No, it's because he made him be a 3-point shooter. No, he made him not be a low post player.
Bosh is the only one in that first year that was like, guys, go nuts.
Yeah,
I'll just grab some boards and I'll shoot threes or whatever the case may be.
It wasn't a good deal for Bosh, and that's why he's got blood clots.
Well, he's got 2 championship rings, so.
Love's got 1 championship ring. Was it worth it?
You tell me.
No.
I think he begged to differ.
No, I don't think so. Anyways, what else we missed, Joel?
All right, in case you missed it, former NBA commissioner David Stern, he's still recuperating from emergency surgery after suffering brain hemorrhage when he collapsed at a Manhattan restaurant.
Man,
no, I hate that shit, man.
So,
I hate that shit.
I mean, the NBA, released a statement saying that the surgery was successful and that right now it's just a waiting game to see what happens.
Yo, it's fucked up how random fucking shit you never thought about in your entire life can just kill you.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever thought in your life about a brain hemorrhage?
No.
I hate that shit.
And when it comes to David Stern, too, he's done so much for the game. It's like things that are still impacted today, even though he hasn't been the commissioner for a handful of years.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Fixed the referees and everything.
From that to what he did when he first came in the 80s and
Yeah, no, he definitely.
The way it's become an international
game.
Yeah,
he took the game globally.
Yeah. I mean, that's
huge.
That was Stern. That was Stern for sure.
Yeah. I hate that shit.
He wasn't afraid to do things. And, you could say the same thing about Silver, but I think Silver's heavily influenced by the decisions and the moves that David Stern made.
Yo, Silver's a less mafioso David Stern.
Yeah.
Like David Stern.
Well, Stern opened the door.
At the end of David Stern's career, he turned into like, hey, nobody asked me any questions about anything that I'm doing type attitude. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which is why he got a bad rap. But yeah, everything he did before that, man, it's it just sucks, man. It's like you live your whole life doing all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, like, you're eating in a fucking spaghetti shop and you get a brain hemorrhage. Fuck.
Yeah, man. As cliche as it sounds, but real talk, thoughts and prayers to David Stern and his family. And as always, hit us up on CausewayStreet.com. Then follow us on all social media platforms at Causeway Street. And that'll do it for this edition of In Case You Missed It. If you're still listening at this point, we appreciate you.
Until next time, guys. Christmas special. Coming soon. Causeway Street style.
See the writings on the wall.
Stop lying!
Peace.